Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate that. Very simple amendment. It just simply says that no funds may be made available under this title if inflation rates are above 8%. We've discussed quite a bit about the massive spending bill that the bill represents, and especially the natural resources part of it. So it's important to realize what this bill, if passed, will do. Uh, Inflation is running away like it hasn't since the 1970s, really. Uh, According to a Department of Labor report from July, consumer prices have risen 5.4% over the last 12 months. 86% of Americans say they're concerned about inflation. 79% blame it, at least in part, on Biden policies. Uh, Throughout the Trump administration, wages rose faster than inflation. In less than a year, President Biden has already reversed this trend. According to a recent study by the National Federation of Independent Business, 52% of respondents reported raising prices. This hurts low wage people, people on fixed income, our seniors, our working poor. Um, and I'd also point out some other data. Um, of course, some of us that were around in the 70s remember the stagflation. Gerald Ford had a button that said WIN, whip inflation now. He certainly didn't do it, and it helped Jimmy Carter win the presidency. Jimmy Carter was working on inflation, and yet it went up. It caused interest rates to go up dramatically, and it caused unemployment. So I don't recall ever before President Carter or since having interest rates above 10% or double digits, having um, unemployment above 10%, having just um, inflation above 10%. It just got crazy. So this is where we're headed. And there's already been warnings. I remember the first year of President Obama's administration, when for the first time in our country's history we had $1 trillion deficit. And Standard and Poor's warned us, if you keep spending like this without paying for it, uh, we're going to have to reassess your rating. And they downgraded. Thank goodness no other rating service did. But those indications are back out there. If we are going to be spending, $6 trillion, $5, $6 trillion in one year that we can't pay for, they're going to look at downgrading our debt, which means the U.S. interest rate will go up, which means we'll be spending even more, a greater percentage of our budget on interest. And that's how we lose nations, and that's how we can lose this nation. The last time President Biden was in the White House as vice president, I think it's important to note that Black households lost a staggering 30% of their net worth over those 8 years. 30% of their net worth. And this is what we're on track again for. We're seeing um, a particularly troubling spike in Black unemployment. That shouldn't be happening. This is just wrong. But if you go back to the policies Biden supported under President Obama, and he's now supporting again, President Obama had to admit in September 2013, 95% of the income is going to 1%. It helped the mega wealthy, no matter what they said they were going to do, and it hurt the working folks of America, the working poor. Hispanics, a recent poll said 0% of Hispanic Americans feel that the current economy is excellent. So we've got a lot of work to do, and somebody needs to be the responsible adults that say, you know what, let's quit spending our way into greater and greater debt. If the inflation goes over 2%, let's give America a break and not spend these billions and billions and billions of dollars. With that, I yield back.
The gentleman's yielded. Is there further discussion on Gohmert Amendment number 10? Seeing none, I'll briefly recognize myself. This amendment would stop all of the funding under this title if inflation hits 2%, kneecapping economic stimulus spending when an arbitrary inflation rate is reached at a time when we're trying to fund the work of protecting American communities and the climate is counterproductive, to say the least. Inflation is a complicated thing. It's driven by many factors. It's nuanced, and this amendment would take a sledgehammer to the subject. Stopping the critical spending from this budget reconciliation, spending American needs to build back better, would set us back while potentially doing nothing at all to address inflation. And by the way, it will be interesting to see if the same frugality and concern about spending that we can't afford is with us when we discuss the defense budget a few weeks down the road. But in any event, let's let the Fed handle monetary policy, not members of Congress. I urge members to oppose this amendment. And the question now before us is on Gohmert Amendment number 10. I will allow all members who are supporting this amendment to unmute. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those who are opposed, please unmute. And those who are opposed, please say no. No.
No.
No.
In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it.